Here's a prayer we Jews recite as we usher in a new year. It says, Tichla Shana Dikilo Sehal, Kechel Shana Uvirchatech. May the old year end with all its curses, and may the new year begin with all its blessings. If ever there was a year when these words ring true, it's been this past one. The great Hasidic master of Nachman of Matzlo is noted for having said, Kol ha'olam kulo gesher tzaro. The whole world is a narrow bridge. V'ha'ikar lo lefached. And the most important thing is not to be afraid. How can you not be afraid this year? Every step we took, every breath we took, seemed to bring with it a risk. Everything had to be thought out and decided. Should I come to shul or stay home? If I come, should I be socially separated? Should I wear a mask outdoors or in? Should I go to Starbucks or stay home? Cancel the vacation or go? How about getting on a plane, arranging a play date for our children, having guests over for dinner? There's even a risk in hugging your grandchildren. We used to think of risks as skydiving and bungee jumping. Now everything seems to bring a risk with it. How do you live in a world like this? I'll tell you how. You learn from Israel Danziger. One of my favorite short stories by the Nobel Prize author Isaac Bashevis Singer is entitled The Hotel. It's the story of poor, miserable Israel Danziger, a successful businessman who, before he even turned 60, was forced into retirement because of a heart attack. So Israel Danziger is forced to move to Miami Beach, where he doesn't know how to swim or golf, and his wife makes sure he no longer smokes his cigars nor eats the food he loves. As Singer puts it, Israel still had an appetite, but Hilda carefully doled out his rations. Everything he liked was forbidden, full of cholesterol: butter, eggs, milk, coffee with cream, a piece of fat meat. Instead, she filled him up with cottage cheese, salads, mangoes, orange juice. And even this was measured out by the ounce, lest heaven forbid he might swallow a few extra calories. Poor Israel Danziger. He just can't go on living like this. So what does he do? He cheats on his wife. How? Every day he takes a bus to Lincoln Road, where he walks into a cafeteria, lights up a long cigar, eats a chopped herring sandwich, followed by a tall glass of iced tea and a piece of cheesecake. And one day, sitting in the cafeteria, he meets Morris Saperstone. He's in the cafeteria for the same reason. And while eating their cheesecake, Israel bemoans his plight in life and turns to Morris and says, all these diets make me more sick than well. How did people live in the old days? In my time, there were no diets, he says. My grandfather, he should rest in peace, used to eat a whole plate full of onions and chicken fat as an appetizer. Then he got busy on the soup with drops of fat floating on top. Then he had a fat piece of meat and he finished up with the schmaltz cake. Where was cholesterol then? My grandfather lived to be 87 and he died because he fell on the ice one winter. Let me tell you, someday they'll find out that cholesterol is healthy. They'll be taking cholesterol tablets just as they take vitamin pills today. To which Morris can only say, I hope you're right. And who knows? He just might be right. I've recently pointed out to you that every morning I take 10 pills. One of those is called Etodolac. It's a muscle relaxant. I happen to read the warning label it comes with. Listen to this. Common side effects include vomiting, diarrhea, constipation, upset stomach, stomach pain, heartburn, bloating, gas, headache, dizziness, nervousness, sore throat, stuffy nose, skin itching, rash, blurred vision, ringing in the ears, and skin changes, paleness, blisters, hives, weight gain, swelling, shortness of breath, unusual bleeding, jaundice, pain with urination, bloody urine, blurry vision, back pain, heart attack, stroke, and coma. And I'm putting this inside of me every day to keep me healthy. Every pill you take makes you healthy, but comes with the risk that it might make you sick. But you take the risk and it usually turns out for the best. I well understand the decision some people made not to come to shul this year. Believe me, I understand. But I also know that statistics clearly show that more people die at home than in shul. We're always taking risks. It's a risk having a child. It can break your heart. Getting married is a risk. You give your heart to someone and they can break it. But you know what Isaac Bashevis Singer's story ends with? It ends with Danziger and Saperstone going together to look at a hotel in Miami Beach that's for sale. Despite the fact that their doctors had insisted on their retiring for their own good, they are embarking on a new joint business venture. They're ready to gamble. They're ready to take the risk. Better to die than to go on living like this, Danziger tells Saperstone. The great sage Jane Landers once wrote, the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing. He may avoid suffering and sorrow, but he can't learn, feel, change, grow, or love. You know, this high holiday is a special one here at the Villa. It's the 100th anniversary of our beloved congregation. We have so much to show for these 100 years, but you know, so much of what has made us stand out was because our leaders were willing to take risks. We built the synagogue in Forest Park with a gymnasium. Nobody built synagogues with gymnasium. But it became the center of youth in the area. In 1942, we started a day school. Let me repeat that, 1942. Do you know what was going on in this world in 1942? They were gassing Jewish children in Europe, and we started a day school. Was that not a risk? And moving to Pikesville, people said, there's no way Orthodox Judaism will take root in the suburbs. But we did it. And we built what is to date the only co-educational high school. And today we have so much nachas from the children we've helped produce. You want to think of a risk that the Villa took? They hired me as their rabbi. Do you know what a risk that was? in Rabbi Rosenblatt, you had a giant in the rabbinate, a man with a doctorate, spoke 9 languages. I was a kid in my early 30s. And some people think I still don't speak a good English. You took a risk with me. Let me tell you something. I took a risk in you. I had a very secure, wonderful congregation in Washington. And I still remember when I came for my tryout that weekend on Shabbos afternoon, one of the congregants turned to me and pointed to Rabbi Rosenblatt and said, "You look like a nice kid. Stay away from here. They'll eat you up." You see, Rabbi Rosenblatt, when he came to Beth Tefillah, he was 6'4". And now look at him. And now look at me. Me and Harbor Place came to Baltimore at the same time. And I seem to have worked out better than it did. You know who took the greatest risk of all? It says that when God wanted to make human beings, he consulted with the angels and they all said the same thing: don't do it. Logic said, what do you need it for? And reason said, if you do it, you'll regret it. And justice said, they don't deserve it. All the angels said, the rest of creation is so docile and predictable. The creature you're about to make with free will may bring you joy, but he might cause the whole universe to come tumbling down. What do you need it for? Why take the risk? But God's a gambler. He took a risk on us human beings. It was the greatest gamble in all of history. And we're the winners. So may all the risks and gambles we take in the coming years be successful ones, so that our prayer will really be fulfilled. The old year will end with all its curses. The new year can be ushered in with all its blessings.